Strategic Planning Session, November 20th, 2024. Bastrop Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors. Goal number 1, trusted source of information.
So we were talking about trusted, reliable communication source of information, and it really went mostly in the how are we a trusted source for others outside, and fostering relationships with media sources like Community Impact. How can we help them to be more accurate in their reporting about things that are going on in Bastrop County, and trying to help them, perhaps direct and assist them in the ways in which they think about and look at us and our membership. Sort of controlling the correct messaging. It's not, not so much about like trying to, manipulate the message, but to make sure that the correct messaging is happening. It's easy to have that narrative, sort of given to you, and we want to try to be able to control it a little bit. Going out to national thought leaders, like Mason was talking about some of them that he uses in various verticals in his development, and trying to think about tapping into national thought leaders who are dealing with development and growth in a lot of places, to not only learn from them, but to help them to learn from us about who Bastrop is and what Bastrop wants to be. And if you think about it in a sense, this may be one of those ways that we can have the most impact about becoming, holding on to our heritage, growing in the ways that we want to grow, stuff like that, because somebody's coming, they're all coming. The question is there any way for us to give information and send the message out to those folks that are tapping into and sourcing potential development, so they know what kind of development we might want to come our way. Then do media releases of various types, direction, who to contact for more detail. So just thinking about, why Bastrop? And we were talking about the fact that Adina had done a video a couple years ago, something like that. I remember we did an event at the movie theater, and they showed that video. It was kind of cool. But why Bastrop? So that we can, again, sort of get the message out to the world at large about why here. And in that message, maybe in the ways that we put it, we are piquing the interest of people who would actually want here, okay, rather than just whatever shows up. And that sort of messaging and marketing thing. And then sort of right as we were being told it was time to stop, we were talking about, okay, now let's think about internally. How do we do some better internal messaging with our internal stakeholders, our current and future members, to try to figure out how to penetrate the noise. And apparently next year we're going to new software. Just an easy example is you get the what's next, the events email that tells you everything's happening. And my question was, can we have a link in it so I can automatically put it on my calendar? Right now, you open that event, you register for that event, you get a different email from that event, and then you can get it onto your calendar. And candidly, I'm not going to do that. That's just too many steps. And so then it doesn't end up on my calendar, and then I forget to show up or whatever. And so, easier ways for people to be able to tap into the information that comes from us and the other 400 emails a day that they get, so they can click on it, do something with it, be done with it, and show up.
Goal number 2, build the Chamber's financial position.
We have to get to 50% of, operating expense budget in reserves. Let me talk real numbers here. $850,000 is our annual operating expense budget for the chamber. So that means we got to get to 50% of that. That's 425 round numbers. We're at 257 as of the end of October. So that means we got to go up by 175,000, right, to get to that number. So what we said is we need to build reserves and available lines of credit to 50% of operating expense budget. By when? TBD. We can figure that out. But there's a second piece of this. For those that have been on the chamber for a little bit, we talked about facilities, right? And the fact that we've run out of space and we need to do something or think about the facilities in a different way. So the second piece is develop a funding plan to expand/relocate the office facilities. If relocation's in the cards, so be it. but that's one of the things that we need to do. So then we talked about, so these are the two, kind of part A and part B of the goal. And then we have some action items down here. So I said by 3:30, I didn't say, we said, by 3:31.
No, he said.
I said, yes, you agree. By 3:31, develop strategies for lines of credit and increasing the reserves. And part of that is identifying at least 3 financial institutions to go and talk to about what they might be able to do for lines of credit. So have those conversations, start having those conversations if we can first quarter. By 6:30, we need to have a plan for implementing these strategies. So we've kind of got 2 milestones here. And honestly, some of this is going to be easier to implement. The lines of credit will be easier to implement, and that'll help us figure out what we have to then get the actual cash on hand to be. So we'll back into that number. And then those 2 go with this first part, and then the second one is by 6:30, it has to relates to the building. By 6:30, convene a subcommittee of the board to discuss the office space planning. We had kind of talked about that a couple meetings ago, I guess it was at this point. So
Megan and Mason and.
It was
Ethan,
yeah. So I think we just need to figure this out, but that has a big financial implication, which is kind of why we set it on the back burner and said, all right, this is way more meaningful and significant than solving it in a 1 or 2 board meetings. So that's what we put together with financing.
Awesome, good job. Any questions? Thoughts,
We need
additions?
Succession planning, but.
Oh, well, we planned for succession. That's succession planning.
Goal number 3, increase member engagement. Our goal, increase member engagement with retention in mind. We're going to do this by increasing our member retention rate, event and educational opportunities, and digital communication interactions. Our action plan will be to create more opportunities for board and volunteers to interact with our members. Recognize and acknowledge board members at events. We want to conceptualize and implement a roundtable discussion event encouraging business collaboration. And we want to develop communication strategies to increase interactions with social media likes, shares, etc. Goal number 4, reach 5-star accreditation. We will be resubmitting our application to aim to go from 4 stars to 5 stars. We can do this. (2025-2026) strategic direction. We're ready, we're excited, we're focused, we're dedicated.